In 1975, the world met a woman who could deflect bullets, wield a golden lasso, and fly an invisible jet, but behind the costume was someone far more powerful than any superhero. She was 24, a former beauty queen from Arizona, and overnight, Lynda Carter became a global icon. But fame has a way of testing even the strongest souls. She didn't just play Wonder Woman, she became her. But while the cameras captured strength and grace, the real battles were being fought far from the spotlight. This is the story of a woman who inspired millions while quietly carrying her own pain, of the struggles that nearly broke her and the strength that brought her back. From small-town beginnings to superstardom and soul-searching redemption, this is the untold story of Lynda Carter, a journey of resilience, reinvention, and what it truly means to be a hero. Before the world called her Wonder Woman, she was simply Lynda Jean Cordova Carter, a bright-eyed girl growing up under the desert sun in Phoenix, Arizona. Born in 1951 to a hardworking Mexican-American family, Lynda's life was shaped by grit, grace, and the quiet strength of her mother, Juanita, a woman who taught her daughter to dream bigger than the world expected. In that modest home, surrounded by music and love, Lynda discovered a spark, not on a stage or in front of a camera, but at a piano. Long before Hollywood ever knew her name, she was a musician at heart. A teenage Lynda formed her own band, Just Us, and played at local gigs, smoky bars, high school dances, anywhere with a mic and a crowd. It wasn't fame she was chasing, it was connection, expression, a life bigger than Phoenix. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. At just 21, Lynda entered the Miss World USA pageant, not for the spotlight, but for a scholarship, a chance to pay for college, a chance to keep moving forward. What she didn't expect was to win. Standing under the bright lights, crown atop her head, something shifted. She wasn't just a beauty queen anymore, she was a woman on the verge of something extraordinary. That win cracked the door to Hollywood wide open. But what lay beyond wasn't glitz and glamour. It was rejection, stereotypes, a system that saw her beauty and tried to box her in. Los Angeles wasn't kind. The auditions were endless, the compliments hollow. Too tall, they'd say. Too exotic. She was told to change her look, her voice, even her name. But Lynda refused. She'd come too far to shrink now. She took acting classes, paid her dues in small roles. B-movies, blink and you miss it TV spots, just enough to pay the bills and keep the dream alive. And just when it seemed like the dream might slip away, destiny knocked again. Producer Douglas Kramer was casting for a new kind of female hero. Strong, bold, real. Hundreds of actresses had auditioned, none were quite right. Then came Lynda. She didn't just walk into that audition, she arrived. Not as a starlet trying to impress, but as a woman channeling generations of strength, her mother, her heritage, her bandmates, the girl who never gave up. It wasn't just a performance, it was a moment. And the producers saw it immediately. That quiet power, that fire behind the eyes. She didn't need special effects or flashy lines. She was Wonder Woman, the strength, the vulnerability, the unshakable sense of justice. The moment I put on that costume, Lynda once said, I felt like I could actually fly. But it wasn't just fabric and metal, it was purpose. It was a voice for every girl who'd ever been told to sit down, stay quiet, be small. And just like that, Lynda Carter became a legend. When Wonder Woman hit television screens, it wasn't just a show, it was a cultural earthquake. Overnight, Lynda Carter went from aspiring actress to global sensation. Her face was on magazine covers. Her name was in every household. Little girls everywhere wanted to be like her. And why wouldn't they? She was bold, beautiful, fearless. But what the world saw was only part of the picture. Behind the sparkling smile and bullet-deflecting bracelets was a young woman battling a quieter, more complex fight. In an era where beauty was often mistaken for simplicity, Lynda constantly had to prove she was more than just a costume. People thought I was dumb, she once admitted. Like the outfit somehow erased my intelligence. And then there were the stunts, the flips, the jumps, the fight scenes, most of which Lynda insisted on doing herself. What looked effortless on screen often left her bruised and battered off camera. Twisted ankles, pulled muscles, injuries hidden beneath a costume that offered no protection and even less comfort. But the physical strain paled in comparison to the emotional toll. The pressure to be perfect, to never slip, never age, never crack. She was Wonder Woman, but she was also human. and no one seemed to notice the difference. The fame that once felt like a gift soon became a cage. On set, power dynamics shifted. The producers had a very clear idea of what Wonder Woman should be, how she should talk, smile, even stand. And when Lynda pushed back, she was often met with silence or resistance. Off-screen, things weren't easier. Dating was nearly impossible. "How do you fall in love?" she once asked. "When people don't see you, only the icon you play." Many men either idolized her or tried to control her. Neither saw her as real. And for a time, she started to forget who she really was, too. The show ran strong for 3 seasons. Lynda was running on empty. The fame, once thrilling, had become suffocating, and worse, Hollywood didn't know what to do with her anymore. She was Wonder Woman, period. Casting directors couldn't unsee it, and roles that did come her way were just watered-down versions of the same. But giving up wasn't in her DNA. Lynda turned back to the first love that had once saved her music. She released Portrait, a soulful debut album filled with heart and honesty. And while critics admired her voice, the public still saw only the superhero. Still, for Lynda, it was a way to breathe again, to remember the girl who used to sing in smoky Arizona bars. Then, a new chapter began. She married attorney Robert Altman, a man who, for the first time in a long time, saw Lynda, not Wonder Woman. They built a life, had 2 children, James and Jessica, and for the first time in years, she stepped out of the spotlight. But behind the scenes, something was shifting. The fame hadn't disappeared, it had simply gone quiet. And the silence made room for something far more dangerous. The demons she had buried for years. Because even superheroes have limits. And even Wonder Woman can break. Lynda had it all: a beautiful marriage, 2 children, financial comfort, and the legacy of a role that had changed television forever. But beneath the surface, behind the closed doors and polished smiles, something was unraveling. What no one could see was the pain, the exhaustion, the unbearable pressure of being everyone's hero while silently crumbling inside. The years of expectation, of holding it all together, of always being strong, they finally broke her. And Lynda, the symbol of strength to millions, turned to something else to cope. Something that offered escape, but not peace. She started drinking, quietly at first, then more, then often. "I was drowning," she would later admit, voice steady, but full of sorrow. "I was supposed to be this pillar of strength, but inside, I felt so weak." Alcohol numbed the ache, blurred the pressure, muted the voice in her head that said she had to be perfect. But the cost was rising, and fast. By the late 80s, the cracks were undeniable. Her drinking was affecting her work, her family, and most painfully, her children. The woman who once embodied justice and truth was now staring at a reflection she didn't recognize. And in that moment, that terrifying, pivotal moment, Lynda made the bravest decision of her life. She asked for help. She checked herself into rehab. And for the first time, she wasn't playing a part or posing for the cameras. She was just Lynda, broken, scared, but ready to fight. Not for fame, not for fans, but for herself, for her kids, for her future. Recovery wasn't easy. It never is. There were tears, relapses, hard truths. But through it all, Lynda dug deeper than she ever had before. She confronted everything she had hidden: the perfectionism, the pressure, the fear of not being enough. And slowly, she began to heal. Because sometimes, the bravest thing a person can do is admit they're not okay. And through that healing, something unexpected happened. Lynda Carter, the icon, the mother, the woman discovered a new kind of strength. Not the kind that dodges bullets or leaps over buildings, but the kind that chooses to stay, to rise, to live. She had survived. And now, she was ready to begin again. Today, Lynda Carter is no longer defined by the costume she once wore. At 72, she stands not as a symbol of fantasy, but as proof that strength is real, healing is possible, and second acts are sometimes the most powerful of all. She's become an advocate, a voice for mental health, for addiction recovery, for every person who has ever felt like they were supposed to be strong even when they were falling apart inside. Lynda doesn't hide her story. She shares it, openly, honestly. Because she knows that true superheroes don't just fight battles, they talk about them. But maybe her greatest legacy isn't the fame, or the fans, or even the historic role. It's the little girls who grew up watching her spin into power and started to believe they could do the same. It's the message she sent through every scene, every smile. You can be strong. You can lead. You matter. In recent years, Lynda has found a new way to wield her power, not on a soundstage, but on social media, on public platforms, in real-world movements. She's spoken out for LGBTQ+ rights, for women's rights, for anyone who's ever felt unseen. And through it all, she continues to lift others up, not as Wonder Woman, but as Lynda. From a young girl in Phoenix with a dream, to an icon who redefined what a female hero could be, to a survivor who turned her scars into strength, Lynda Carter has lived a story more inspiring than any comic book could ever tell. Because being strong doesn't mean never falling. It means rising again and again. It means using your voice. It means showing up broken, brave, and beautifully human. She didn't just wear Wonder Woman's costume. She lived what it stood for. And maybe that's the most wonderful thing of all. So, what part of Lynda Carter's journey struck you the most? Was it the fame? The fall? The quiet strength it took to rise again? Let us know in the comments, because her story is more than entertainment. It's a mirror, a message, a reminder that heroes are human too. If this story moved you, if it made you see Lynda or yourself in a new light, hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories of icons who lived larger than life and loved even harder behind the scenes. And remember, we all have a little Wonder Woman in us. Sometimes, all it takes is the courage to let her shine.